What's good, y'all? I've got some crazy buffs from my boy Hoopa. Super sick, legendary. As a quick disclaimer, if you're new here and you're just clicking on this video because you think Hoopa's cool or because you saw it and you're recommended, these buffs and changes are not meant to be looked at in a vacuum. None of them are balanced for competitive play whatsoever. This is one of the examples where it would be pretty crazy, although honestly, everything has priority. It's probably not even that crazy, unless you're running on a psychic terrain, in which case, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But look, my point is that it's not balanced for that. All right, it's balanced for in-game. It's balanced for hardcore Nuzlocke. This is a ROM hack, so and if you're using a Hoopa Unbound, it's only a wormhole Pokemon, so it's a late game encounter, and it's just nothing crazy. It's frail. It's hard to get on the field on the physical side. It has great tools. It's incredibly powerful in both forms. It has, especially Confined, has a lot of utility, and then Unbound has the ability Expertise, which is awesome. Expertise functions like parental bond. I think that's a very fitting ability. The only other one I was considering was Magic Guard, but I think Expertise is a lot cooler, and I noticed that there wasn't that many Expertise Pokemon, and it felt like kind of an underutilized ability. So, yeah, Hoopa Unbound, incredibly powerful. It can hold an item. It's 160 attack, 170 special attack. Hyperspace Fury functions like Headlong Rush now, so that's 150 base power. Deals 30% recoil. It's really fucking strong. But its speed tier, Hoopa Unbound especially, his speed tier is very underwhelming. 100 is nothing crazy in this hack. You can check out the speed tier guide below. Also, by the way, if you are new here and you're just clicking on this video and you're watching this, make sure you listen all the way through. And also, please, for any of you guys who are using these videos as substitutes for the Google Sheets, don't do that. Go to the link, all right? Link is in the description. You can look at the Google Sheets yourself, and you can check out all 600 plus move buffs and changes, 130 plus custom brand new moves. All that type of stuff is super important, and I don't have time to get into it in this video, so please give those a look. Really, really important. It took me a long time to make all those stuff on the sheets, so please don't let it go to waste. Yeah, Unbound, incredibly powerful. It is slower than Confined, which is important. Keep in mind, like I said, it's balanced for in-game, so your speed stat, your speed IVs and nature are not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed a plus speed nature. You're not guaranteed good speed IVs. If you got like middling speed IVs and a neutral speed nature, like you're not gonna outspeed base 80s with the plus speed nature and max speed IVs. I'm pretty sure. Let me actually check. I'm pretty sure you won't even outspeed that. And if you do, it's close. 80, 52, 31 hits 284, right? Meanwhile, 100 neutral nature. 15, 284, right? Oh my god, I was exactly right. Yeah, you are outsped by base 80 with a plus speed nature with 15 IVs and a neutral speed nature. So you're not guaranteed that, right? So it's not nearly as overpowered as you might think, just because of that speed stat alone. 100 speed with, random IVs and natures is nothing crazy. Post game in the league, you are guaranteed bottle caps, but that's for like post game, but the post game is gonna be pretty crazy anyways. So like, more power to you. He also has priority. Hoopa Unbound has Sucker Punch, and Night Burst, and Think Fast, and Influx, which are all priority moves, which are great on Hoopa Unbound. And he has awesome coverage. He has a Power Up Punch and Charge Beam, work great with Expertise because you can get a +1 boost. Also, First Impression absolutely demolishes both Hoopa forms, but especially Unbound. Pretty much everything in the game that's a physical attacker that like is relatively strong looking can be learned for an first impression via TM. And that literally just ruins Hoopa Unbound's entire existence. And if you're saying, okay, well, I can just run a Psychic Terrain Pokemon or a Psychic Surge Pokemon, that's true. You could, in theory, and you would be very, very strong under that. But then you don't get to use priority yourself. And your speed stat, like I said, is pretty underwhelming. Your physical defense is garbage. Lots of things will outspeed you. There's a lot of fast Pokemon in attack. They will completely just demolish you. And also, Psychic Terrain doesn't last forever. So, yeah, nothing crazy. Again, for in-game purposes, it's nothing crazy at all. It's very strong. There's actually stronger things than this. He's probably up there, honestly, because he can't hold an item, actually. So he might be up there in terms of just the strongest Pokemon in terms of raw damage, but that doesn't really mean that much. It doesn't, raw damage is not everything in this game. Utility is really important, which is also why Hoopa Confined is great. Hoopa Confined has more resistances and immunities than Hoopa Unbound. Hoopa Unbound, Psychic Dark is shit defensively. It has literally 0 resistances. It's 4 times weak to one of the most common priority moves in the game. And you actually, I changed this recently. You can't protect on first impression anymore. I can elaborate more on that in another video, but yeah, you can't even like tack on protect. All right, you have to switch the fuck out. The second you see that the opponent's team has a first impression Pokemon, which pretty much every boss fight will have at least one first impression, probably 2 users, you have to switch out. You cannot stay in. It's just not an option. And you could run Focus Sash for certain fights. Tango Berry is not going to matter. It's going to kill you through Tango Berry. But Focus Sash you could run, but then you have to make sure you don't take any other damage, and then you're slower, and it's not ideal. All right, it does take skill to use this Pokemon, believe it or not. You can always just go into a resist and then bulky parting shot or volt switch or U-turn into your Hoopa Unbound, or you can even just use an eject button mon, infinite use eject button on a bulky bug resist, and now you're right back into your Hoopa Unbound. But it still takes a little bit of thought. You can't just literally solo the game with shit like this. You need to be smart with it. Getting it on the field is a chore, which is why Levitate is a great option. I haven't covered that yet, but Levitate is awesome. Levitate with the infinite usability capsule is great. In competitive, yeah, you have a huge opportunity cost, so you'd be able to run that. But again, this isn't balanced for that. This is balanced for in-game. It's kind of like Draft League, where you're going to look at the opponent's team and you're going to go, okay, I need Levitate for this fight because I need my Hoopa Unbound to switch in on this ground type move, or I need it to take this ground type Pokemon. All right, boom, now you got Levitate. Great ability, you know, especially because your shit physical defense and your lack of resistances. It gives you a much needed opportunity to switch your Hoopa Unbound in. Confined has a lot more opportunities because it has 2 immunities as opposed to only 1 Psychic Dark. So yeah, Psychic Ghost is a much better typing. You also have actual resistances in Poison and Psychic, which are pretty good. And you only have 2 weaknesses, and like, yeah, they're 4 times, but like you're dying to physical hits anyways, and special hits, yeah, it's kind of a shame. Oh my god, God forbid the AI uses spook on me. You know, it's the AI doesn't really know how to use priority moves that well unless they're strong, or it's their only option. So AI won't have priority besides like stronger ones like First Impression that much, or if it's like a boosted by Technician or something, or if it's literally their only option for stab, then they might click it. But if they had, for example, spook versus Shadow Ball, and you're on 20% HP, they're going to click Shadow Ball, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not 20%, but if you're like in range where you would die to Spook from full HP, they're still going to click Shadow Ball. They don't know how to use the priority properly. Speaking of Hoopa Unbound, Hoopa Confined, excuse me, is actually, like I said, situationally much better than Hoopa Unbound. Not just because of Prankster, which is a very fitting ability, in my opinion, for, I mean, that's not even an opinion, it's perfectly fitting for Hoopa Confined. Expertise, by the way, fits because of Hoopa Unbound's whole thing with the multiple hands, and hitting twice fits really well for that, in my opinion. You know, he's got like the portals, and I can picture him like making portals and hitting you twice and shit with it. I think it's super cool. Magic Guard's a lot more boring in my opinion, because it kind of forces you with the Life Orb in a lot of boss fights, and it would prevent recoil on moves like Hyperspace Fury and Brutal Swing, which isn't that broken. I mean, you could argue it's more broken than Expertise actually, but both of them are really strong. Like, it doesn't matter, you're dying. Its weaknesses, Hoopa Unbound's weaknesses are still going to keep it in check. Weaknesses meaning like as a Pokemon, not type chart wise. Type chart wise, it's not actually a big deal, but just in terms of, you know, having not that much defensive utility besides having Levitate and a Psychic immunity, and you know, it's got great spin F. It's got very good special defense, so you can run like an Assault Vest set for certain boss fights with like Drain Punch and stuff. That'd be pretty cool, but in general, it takes a lot of thought to use. Confined as well. Confined is great actually because you have Prankster plus Parting Shot, dual screens, Trick Room, which is now neutral priority, so it's praying, so that's +1 priority. But especially just like Parting Shot, dual screens, that's beautiful on Hoopa Confined. Very, very good team support right there. And of course, it's very strong. 150 base special attack with Psychic and Ghost dual stab. Ghost being some of the best stab to have in the game because it's unresisted by literally everything besides Dark and Normal, which of course you have coverage moves for. You can just teach Aura Sphere, Focus Blast or something. It's beautiful, all right? Great stuff. Hoopa Confined, very worth using over Hoopa Unbound, despite the fact that Hoopa Unbound has more damage. You know, that's not everything in attack. You're going to want utility. You also have Prankster Recover, which could be pretty cool. Prankster even Weather, like with the Weather Rock, you know, you can use that for like Focus Sat, or you could use either Focus Sash or Weather Rock, because the Weather Rocks give 6 turns, and then you can go Rain Dance and then go into your Rain Abuser, especially if you're doing a Team Lock Nuzlocke. You know, you're not able to just go grab a Drizzlemon from the PC. Self-setting Weather is very viable now because of that, so that's awesome. In-game, of course. All of this is balanced for in-game, right? I really can't emphasize that enough, because I know people are going to look at this and be like, what the fuck? Parental Bond, Hoopa Unbound, what is this guy smoking? And it's like, dog, like, just think about it for half a second. I don't know. I hope I don't get comments like that on this video. It's gonna annoy me if I do. But in general, he's the GOAT. Nothing crazy. I mean, there are stronger Pokemon. There are Pokemon that are as strong, or almost as strong, that have more defensive utility. There are Pokemon that are as strong and faster. There are Pokemon that aren't as strong but are much faster and have much more defensive utility. And again, he is also a late game encounter. You're not guaranteed every legendary, especially doing a Nuzlocke. I would probably only limit it to like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 wormhole encounters at most. 10 is like kind of excessive. I don't know. It's up to you. Play however you want. But yeah, and if you love, I mean, I love Hoopa, for the record. Hoopa's fucking sick. I have a little like TCG box sitting on my desk right now. It's pretty sick. Hoopa's awesome. I love Hoopa. It's one of my favorite pixies. Actually, probably my favorite pixie. So yeah, sick buffs and changes. Like I said, Hyperspace Fury is very, very strong. You've got all types of other powerful stab moves: Oblivion Beam, Subspace Tear, Wicked Blow, Psycho Warp, Power Flash coverage moves like Mega Horn, Close Combat. It's just got everything, all right? It's got all types of stuff. Also, Prankster Will-O-Wisp is pretty great on Hoopa Confined as well. So you got like Prankster Will-O-Wisp, Recover, Parting Shot, Dual Screens, Weather moves, blah, 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 blah. It's got good stuff. Hoopa Confined is great. And the beautiful thing is, not only do you have access to infinite usability capsules, you have access to switch between Levitate and Prankster and Expertise. You have that prison bottle to change forms. By the way, little Easter egg, if you listen this far into the video, I considered making Hoopa Unbound a mega, but I could not. Number one, I couldn't be bothered changing the prison bottle. I don't know. I wasn't honestly. I was too lazy to test if I could. I don't think I can, anyways. I don't think I can disable it. So that's one issue. And then also the prison bottle was like obtainable earlier on than I thought, so that was an issue. It's not post game only, so it's just, and also like the mechanic is so convenient. I don't know why I would make it a mega only. I don't know. This is much better, in my opinion, just to be able to pick between the two, because like I said, Hoopa Confined has plenty of use over Unbound for a lot of boss fights, especially if you're playing team locked. You know, it's awesome. It's great. I think I'm repeating myself a bit, so I'm just gonna leave the video off there. Make sure you go to that description down below and look at what all these new moves do. Check out what all the old moves do, because they're all probably buffed or changed. Like I said, 600 plus. So please give those a look. Really important, because there's all types of crazy stuff here that I don't have time to get into. Yeah, peace everybody. I'll be back for more Kalos Pokemon coming up. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. I think I should be fine. Let me know in the comments down below if you got any questions or, you know, just what you thought. Peace, everyone.